tray of onions. We'll do that together. I'm super excited about
the lights are adjustable, so if you put them on the utility.
Hey friends, so I am coming to you today to share with you me starting my onion seeds. I'm doing a quick experiment where I sow onion seeds a week apart in hopes to find the best date for starting onion seeds in my area. Last year I purchased, well, for the last 2 years I purchased starts from Dixondale Farms, and whenever they come in the mail, they are at least pencil width thick. And then the year before last, I started my seeds myself, in addition to purchasing seeds from Dixondale Farms, and my seedlings were not as thick and big as the starts that I purchased from Dixondale Farms. So my goal with this experiment is to play with a few dates to determine how far in advance I need to start my seeds here for onions to get them as thick as possible to mimic the size that Dixondale Farms sends out, they mail out. So that is the goal. I'm going to start some seeds today. The thing with onions is that they bulb according to the summer solstice and daylight hours. So here in zone 6, we can grow intermediate day and long day onions. I want my onions to have as many leaves as possible before summer solstice. Once summer solstice happens and they have, since that they have enough daylight, they will start bulbing, and the bulb is determined, the size of the bulb is determined by the amount of leaves that the onion plant has. So the goal is to get them to put on as many leaves as possible prior to summer solstice and the bulbing period, I should say. So that is kind of what I am experimenting with today. I am going to sow 50 seeds. I have a 50 seed or 50 cell seed tray. And it is soaking in some water so that I can have my soil pre-moistened when I lay the seeds down. I'll share all of that with you. For my seed starting mix, I don't use seed starting mix in particular. I just use potting soil. In particular, I use Happy Frog or Fox Farm Happy Frog potting soil. I do sift it to get the large pieces out. There's not a lot of large pieces, and I have been successful with starting seeds without sifting it. But I did sift this batch, and it is soaking in so that it can be nice and moist when I go ahead and start the seeds. So stay with me, and we're going to start the seeds. I'm going to go over what varieties we are going to sow today. And then next week, Wednesday, I will come back and we will do another tray of onions. We'll do that together as well. So today I am going to do my pink and red varieties. I have this specialty onion, and this is something that I purchased in, I don't know if I purchased it in 2023 or late 2024. The package says 2024, packed for 2024. So it was either purchased very late 2023 or early 2024. At any rate, with onion seeds, the longer the seed stays in the package, they're not viable after a year or two. So we're going to see if I can get some creme brulee onions out of these seeds. The seeds obviously are now going on 2 years, so I'm going to sow these a little bit heavier than I would traditionally sow my fresh onion seeds. Typically when I sow onion seeds, I do 2 seeds per cell, You can broadcast onion seeds as well, meaning you can put them all in one container. You don't have to put them in individual cell packages. I prefer to do that just because it's neat and clean, and I'll show you that. If you scroll down on my TikTok account, you'll see how they look. It's just so much easier to do them per sale for me. That's my preference. But at any rate, I am probably going to do 3 or 4 of these seeds. I want to use all these seeds up since they're old. So I'm going to do 3 or 4 of these seeds per sale in hopes that I can get some good germination. So that's the Crème Brûlée. I purchased this from Territorial Seeds. I also have Blush, which is my favorite onion variety. It's a mixture of a red and yellow onion. It's a mild onion. I got these from Johnny's, and I am going to do 2 seeds per sale. This has a 79% germination rate, and it was packed for, it was tested, it says October 25. So it was packed for 2025. So these are fresh onion seeds. So I am going to do 2 seeds per sale of these. And then the last one is Rosa di Milano. I am going to do 2 seeds per sale of these as well. And it's a 94% germination rate. That's why I love Johnny's. You have to pay for premium, guys. You don't have to, but I have never had a bad experience with my seeds from Johnny's. So look at all the information that I got from this seed package that are not necessarily on the other seed packages. Johnny's typically will put the germination rate on their seed packets, as well as a lot of information on the back. So yeah, it's a good quality company, and I'm not sponsored, obviously. So let's start some seeds, guys. Okay, so I have all of my labels done. Crème Brûlée, that's Blush, and Rosa di Milano. So we are going to start with Crème Brûlée. Let's check and see how many, I'll move this over. Let's check and see how many onions I have, or onion seeds I have in here. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough for, because I was kind of planning on doing 15 sales. I don't think I'm going to have enough. We'll see. Again, I'm going to do, let's plan on doing 3 per sale, and we'll go from there. So what I do is I literally just put the seed down in the cell, and then I will go back and cover the cell with a little bit more soil. So I'm not digging a hole. Typically I'll like put a little hole in each of the seed of this cells, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to simply just sit the seeds on top, and then I'll cover it with some soil afterwards. I hope you guys can see me. The seeds they're not too small. They're workable. So again, I'm doing 3 per cell. I don't have enough to do 15 cells. So we'll just have to fill the other cells with other onions. Okay. So that was that. And I'm going to put here my Rosa di, or actually no, almost messed up there, guys. I'm going to put my Crème Brûlée label right here. So that's my Crème Brûlée label. And I have one more seed sale that I could use. I'm going to put, since blush is my favorite, I'm going to put more blush. And then because these seeds are new, I'm only going to do 2 seeds per sale of the blush. You guys, I love seed starting. Starting seeds is one of my very favorite parts of gardening. And just, I guess it's kind of, you know, it gives you that full circle moment because you're able to start the seeds indoors and then watch them grow over the season. I love touching the soil. I love just the whole seed starting process is my favorite. Harvesting, obviously, is also one of my favorite tasks, but seed starting is top tier. And because we are in such a cold climate, it gives me something, you know, nice and green to look forward to in my home, because outside it's dark and dreary and cold and snowy. So it just gives me some brightness in the home, I should say. I am also considering starting some salad mix indoors. And then probably if I do that, it'll be in January, so that I can have some fresh salad greens. And then I will, once they start growing, I will transition them to my greenhouse outside. A lot of the lettuces are pretty cold hardy, especially if you have like a cold frame or something for them. Let me see, 5, 10, 15, 21. So I think that's it for the blush. And then the rest I will do, maybe I'll do a couple more blush. And then the rest I will do of the Rosa di Milano. I'm gonna put these seeds back. And then I am going to label here. All right, so that's my blush. And then I'll do the Rosa di Milano. This is the one that had a 94% germination rate. I don't know what this is in here, but guys, maybe that's actually from the onion plant. I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, I'm super excited about the upcoming growing season. At the end of last season, I was like definitely pretty burned out. And that happens to me every year. So something that I'm used to. But looking back on all of the food that I grew with my own 2 hands and the help of my family, I'm very proud of myself. Like, I'm happy. All the hard work was definitely worth it because I'm able to feed my family food that I know is healthy. I know where it came from. I know exactly what was in it. And with everything that's going on in the media with, you know, food and the quality of food being questioned. It just makes me feel so much better knowing where the food that I'm feeding my family and myself, where it came from, and knowing exactly what's in it. Like, that is priceless to me. Okay, so I'm gonna put these back. I have a lot of seed left. So that's the Rosa di Milano. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just take some soil. So this is the container that I have my sifted soil in, and I'm just gonna take it and cover the seedlings, just not deep, but just lightly cover. Some people use perlite to cover. Some people use vermiculite. I have not used perlite in particular to cover seedlings, but I have used vermiculite, and you can definitely do that, or you can just use the soil that you sowed them in. So I'm just lightly covering each cell with soil. And again, this soil has been sifted. I have done it without sifting it. So you just, and this step here is why I don't necessarily dig a small hole to put the seedling in, because I'm doing the same thing essentially with just covering it. And they don't need light to germinate or anything like that. They are not the smallest of seeds, but they're not huge. So I think it says to cover it with like 1/4 of an inch or so of soil. So I'm just barely covering. Just want to make sure that they have contact on all sides with the soil. So that is what I'm doing. And then I don't put my onion seeds, because they are a cool weather crop. I don't put them on heat mats or anything like that. I am just going to put them on my seed starting rack, which is behind me. I'm going to I always keep the light on the timer. So some people don't necessarily start lights until they have germinated. I don't do that, because as soon as they break the soil surface, I want them to have access to light. So I don't wait. I just keep the light on the normal cycle that I have it scheduled for, which is 12 hours right now. I actually may cut that down to 10 hours. But anyway, I start the lighting right away. So what I'm going to do is spray this with a little bit of water. And then I'm going to put the humidity dome on again. I don't put them under a heat mat or over a heat mat or anything like that, because these are cool weather crops. They can take temperatures down to around 20 degrees. And last year and the year before, they may have been even exposed to less than 20 degrees. So they are very, very cold hardy. So they don't need a heat mat at all. And in fact, I think the year before last, I don't know if it may have been the onions that I had under one of my higher intensity lights, and that light in particular throws off a lot of heat, and I don't think that they like that. I'll have to go back and look at my TikTok videos to make sure it was my onions, but I think it was the onions. At any rate, they don't need any heat. All right, so that's that. Super simple. This is my red tray. I am going to spray them with some water and cover them with a humidity dome. They can take anywhere from 3 to 10 days to germinate. Let me make sure my seed packages are out the way and not getting wet. So I just sprayed them with some water. The soil was already pretty moist, so it doesn't need too much. And that's it. I am going to, like I said, cover it with the humidity dome, and everything's labeled with the date and the variety. and usually within about a week, most of them have germinated at that point. So thank you for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will keep you updated. I may do a short when I start to see germination. But other than that, I will be back with another video soon, and certainly by next week, Wednesday, I'll give you an update on these, and we'll start the next round of seedlings. So again, this was my red varieties: Crème Brûlée, Blush, and Rosa di Milano. Blush is more like a pink onion. And the Crème Brûlée is kind of like from my understanding, it's kind of like a cross between a shallot and an onion. It's very pretty as well. So thank you.
Okay, one of the things I wanted to show you about these shop lights is that they are adjustable. I know it's pretty bright. These are the seeds that I just started. They are under the humidity dome, and they are going to just sit here. Once the majority, I would say about half of the seedlings have germinated, I'll take the humidity dome off. But these lights are adjustable. So if you put them on the utility rack, they have these, this piece here where you can go ahead and lower it. These little chain links. So I'm going to lower it so that when they do germinate, they'll be pretty close to the surface of the light. And then as they grow, I will increase the height of the light. So I hope you can see that. So this process of lowering the lights helps prevent legginess. So I lower them as low as I can, as I put them as close as I can to the actual seedlings, and as the seedlings grow, I increase the height of the lights. This helps prevent legginess, and that's how I avoid that issue with my seedlings in particular. I've never had an issue with legginess with my shop lights.